dum 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 dum
Space between.
All right. This is the Space Between Podcast. Reach for my coffee. Get it right.
I
No.
was going to try and silently do it while you did the intro.
No.
But you know what?
No. I'm a thirsty boy. It's the Space Between Podcast where we talk about the space between life and art, passion and business. What's happening now? And what's happening next? It's your boy Pat Shand.
I'm Amy Shand. This is Hoyt Shand.
It's our son Hoyt. You can see his back in the live stream. And for those who are watching on YouTube, you can see, if I've edited it correctly, you can see his whole body, his teardrop-shaped body. Teardrop-shaped body.
He's like a pear, yeah.
Oh, he plops.
Wow.
Papa, that's right. In the main video, okay? So what's good? We have in the comments of the live stream, we have Cassandra Porter.
Hello.
Says yo. And you know what? Yeah, right back, okay? It's the last podcast of the year.
Wow, we should reflect on 2019.
That's part of the motherfucking plan, okay?
I'm so smart.
Happy New Year's Eve to everyone watching. This is going to come out on New Year's Eve. So, hey, 2019, you're done, bitch.
Goodbye.
You're done.
So ready.
I'd say, probably, despite one tragedy, probably one of the best years of my whole vida, okay? But before we get into anything else, talking about the year, reflections, yesterday I came home from the city, and I have stories as well. But Amy told me that she has a story for me, and she's dying to tell me, but that she's waiting until she can be on the podcast to share this story. So, I want to hear.
Because
okay?
I'll be honest with you. I wasn't going to tell you, definitely not on the podcast, or maybe not at all.
Okay.
But I feel like it's a better idea to tell you. But, dude.
Okay, so let me just say first. I'm getting pissed.
I know.
But go on.
You have to promise me not to judge me, and everyone watching, don't judge me, because it's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever done. I'm not even playing.
Okay, I'm getting less pissed now.
So stupid, yo.
Okay.
And I was thinking oh God. But then I was like, if I was listening to a podcast and I heard someone say that they do this, I'd be so relieved that I wasn't this dumb. So I'm doing it for you,
okay,
guys.
And in the comments, Chris Wilkinson says, here's to an awesome 2020 for everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope I don't do this in 2020 or ever again.
Dubs up. Dubs up for Wilkinson, okay? So.
And there's a bunch of reasons why, but Christ.
Let's hear the
and
story.
Then okay, so fuck.
Chronologically, you know?
I'm so embarrassed. But I was like, you know what? I told Pat I'm going to tell him on the podcast. So I'm going to tell him, just don't be mad at me. And no. But you will. I don't think you will, because it's not something that specifically you would be mad at. But I feel like any other dude/husband would be really? Like that.
Okay.
So, and also I want to preface this by saying actually I won't, because I'll spoil. So,
no, just go right into it, you know?
All right, so I get to the gas station, and there's two other cars there, and dudes getting gas or whatever. And I have social anxiety. So when I get out of the car, I lock the car, and you've gotten gas in the car the last few times.
Yes.
So I go and I press the side of the gas tank, and it doesn't open. And I'm immediately nervous. I press it. I Google how to open it. I'm about to text you, am I not remembering how to get it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm fucking with it, fiddling with it. And in front of these two guys, the top part, the plastic part, that's the same color as the car and everything, rips off. It was glued on in a certain way, and it pops off. So now there's just a plastic part covering the gas tank. But you didn't see that, because... So then I'm have it in my hand like an arts and crafts piece like this, and these two guys are looking at me, and it's because I just have impatient anger problems, didn't take enough time to like figure it out.
You were like blasting it.
I'm like going like this, and then I put my fingers in there and I'm trying to like crank it out, this and that. Then I push the unlock button to open the door to get the piece that I have in my hand that I'm gonna salvage
Okay.
in the car,
Yeah.
and the gas tank pops open. The reason it wasn't opening was because the whole car was locked. Whereas if the car was unlocked, if I just pressed it like this, it would have popped open. But I was so concerned that it wasn't popping open that I thought that wasn't the way that you open it, or that it wasn't working. And I felt these people watching me try to fucking open my gas tank that I was so concerned and wanting to open it so bad that I fucking broke the top piece off. Like the Hulk.
Okay.
So then,
I mean, it probably the reason that it came off because you were like pushing so strong and using your fingers. You know, you do have a history of lesbianism. You know.
I'm pulling.
Yeah.
I act like someone who cares so much about like the way my car looks,
Yeah.
the upkeep of my car, and I couldn't even think that I'm like that way because I'm so bad about this stuff that I was just anxious, so anxious that I popped it off. So now it still works. The whole part, the plastic part underneath the like pretty part was completely working now that it was unlocked, and it locks when the door's locked and this and that. So I fit it back on, and I'm like, I can glue this back on with super glue. So I go in the gas station, ask if they have super glue, and he's like, no. So I was like, oh. So my first stop of the day was CVS. I go and I get Gorilla super glue, and I glued it back on. And I felt so stupid.
Okay. I can chime in about this story now.
Yeah, it's over. Because I fixed it. But, like, what if we're driving one day, the glue comes off? I'll just pay to get another one, I guess. Order just that. It's like a square piece, like literally 5 inches by 4 inches.
Here's what I think.
That's just shiny.
Here's what I think.
You gonna divorce me?
I don't think that's stupid at all.
Oh, my God.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that's stupid at all because.
What do they think it is?
Yeah, let's see if there's any comments.
not
There's no comments about it. No, I don't think that's stupid because here, I would have never correlated the door being locked or unlocked to the gas tank.
Right.
And I'll tell you this, I don't even know if that's 100% right because I feel like when I get gas, I think I lock the door.
As soon as you get out.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even know if that's right. I think maybe it just got hung up there and stuck.
And
I don't know.
Point is, I broke it, and then I stood in the CVS parking lot with my glue,
Oh my
and I
God.
fixed it.
No, I think you're okay.
Because I didn't want to spend the rest of the day with just that gray piece of plastic on there, because I wanted to look good.
Yeah. Man, I wish you took a picture of it with no black plastic on there.
Because first I wanted to pretend like I'd never done that. But then I was like, you know what? Whatever. So that's what happened to me.
Not bad at all, I think.
Aw, thanks.
I do.
Whew.
So
But if for whatever reason you have issues, I will get it fixed, pay to get it fixed, and also that's why.
oh
Like if it comes out or something.
no, it's gonna be fine. I want to tell everyone about my adventure today. So, as some of you know, I'm a Pokemon Go player. Okay.
Pokemon Master.
I play very hard. It's my favorite game of all time. And I thought that today was a great example of what the game has brought to my life. Because I'll tell you this. I played very casually from when the game came out in the year 2016. You see?
Yeah.
See? You know?
I even saw it on the screen. They can see a little bit.
It's coming down. Fuck this.
Oh my God.
Fuck this. I'm pissed.
You ruined this.
Okay. So I played very casually since it came out in 2016. It was this year when I realized that I have no hobbies. Is what I realized. that my whole life, all of my hobbies have centered around writing and creativity. Okay. That when I would go to work, I would come home and I couldn't wait to write, or I couldn't wait to read, or I couldn't wait to watch TV to ingest a story. And even back when I was a musician, using that term very loosely, right? I was at 2 points, one time for a very short period of time, from like 6th grade to the first year of college, I was a rapper. Mm-hmm. And then
That's not that short.
that I know. And then at the tail end of that, I was the lead singer of a screamo band.
Well, all the way to the other side.
Yeah, a band called Novela Kiss. Okay, and as a rapper, my names were First was Big Honky PAT. Second was Gangsta White. Third was G White.
Shorten the gangsta.
Oh yeah, I was in groups called The Honkies, Gangsta and Wanksta, Resurrected Soldiers. Okay, it was kind of like a Christian rap, and I was like the badass
Crap.
one. Okay, yeah, very fucking original.
Christian rap.
Yeah.
Crap.
And point is though, even the music that I listened to, all of my hobbies were about writing. Mm-hmm. And this year, I began to think. It was a bit earlier, like January, February. I was like, man, I don't really do anything in my spare time. I don't really create spare time for myself. When I have spare time, I write more, or I read more, or I watch TV. It's all about the hobby that has now become my job. So now there's no I was gonna say miscape, you know, like mesquite barbecue chips, you know. There was no going to work and then going home and doing something fun. Mm-hmm. There was just really, and writing is still fun for me, but it really is work, you know. Yeah. It's work now. It's what I do for my career. There was no break in that.
And the break too is like leaving one place and going another place.
Yeah. So somewhere along the line, I just started to play Pokemon Go more, and it had become a hobby for me. And today, as I said, I thought it was a great example of what. You heard that? It's Hoyt.
He's pissed you kicked him out.
I didn't kick him out. You did a beautiful impression of him. He was on the loft yesterday, and he did a yowl. Can you do an impression of that yowl?
I think I remember. He was like that.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
He does like the double tone.
Oh, yeah. So listen, I'm in this Pokemon Facebook group, and I have a point about them that I want to get back to. But in this group, people say what's going on with Pokemon Go on Long Island. Things that they've caught, great areas, and there were all these comments about this area called Smith Point Park, that it is a Stantler nest. And Stantler is normally this deer-like Pokemon, right? A reindeer Pokemon. But for the holiday event, they've given this motherfucker a bell necklace,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, he has like jingle bells around his neck as a collar.
Yeah, and he isn't really a common spawn in the wild, which means that you can go out at any point and you can find a Pikachu, an Eevee, all these Pokemon in the wild. Stantler, you usually have to go to raids, which is you get one free raid pass a day, or you can pay for more, and you can go fight a super-powered Stantler, and at the end, you can catch him. And a perk of Stantler right now is that he has been just released as Shiny. And Shiny is a special, rarer variant of the Pokemon. So let's say a popular Pokemon, I said before, is Eevee, right? Eevee is this little brown fox. The shiny version of Eevee is a silver fox. And that Pokemon, the odds of finding one in the wild are about 1 in, I think, 425 to 450. So pretty steep odds. You know, it's not every day that you find a shiny Pokemon, even when you're playing for fun and playing hard, you know? So Stantler, though, because he's only really in raids right now, the odds are increased. It's 1 in 20, because you're not going to do more than like 1, 2, even 5 Stantler raids per day, because they're spread out. You know, they're not as common as finding one in the wild. So someone commented that there's a Stantler nest at Smith Point Park in this group. And a nest pretty much means that there's a focused amount of that Pokemon that doesn't normally appear in the wild is more in the wild at that point, right? So I was like, all right, bet. I went there, realized it was the wrong location.
Oh shit.
right? So then I searched the map and I found that there was a campground that also had the name Smith Point Park in there, but it just wasn't that specific park. So I went there, boom, Stanley Nest. And let me tell you something. This is why the game is my beloved hobby now. It brings me to places I would have never gone. Because guess what happened?
And it's pretty nearby, right?
Guess what happened when your boy rolled up there?
What happened? Well, I know what happened, but
Real deer were there, okay?
that's so funny because like Stantler is essentially a deer Pokemon. So your phone gives you the GPS coordinates to go find a bunch of deer Pokemon.
Yep.
And then you go to it, the deer Pokemon nest, and there's a bunch of real deer amongst your freaking virtual reality deer.
Yes. They were real.
And they're not afraid of humans. Like Pat.
Let me tell that part of the
Okay,
story.
go ahead.
You're getting ahead of my
Sorry,
fucking
I
story.
was just so excited. I showed your pictures and stuff to the kids when I was babysitting.
Yeah, check this shit out. Because we live in a somewhat our living situation is it's like right between urban and rural. Okay.
I would say it's super rural where we are.
No, it's not because rural is much more spread out. You just haven't lived in a rural area.
Okay, so yeah, it's the most rural place I've lived.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still very urban here. But we're like on the border of rurality, okay? Where we'll see like one deer peeking out like, I'm trying to get hit by a car as we're driving through somewhere.
Sometimes really early. I'll
Yeah.
see a couple of them like chilling, like 4 or 5 in the morning on the way to work or something. But
Yeah.
usually it's like a blessing. It's like magic. We're just like, oh, a deer.
Yeah. Yo, dude,
And these
so
ones are scared. We always are like, come here, deer.
Oh, yeah.
And they run away.
these deer are fucking pussy, yo. You know,
No, I think they're smart.
Of course, I know, okay? They're wild animals who are in this area that's full of streets, right? So, dude, I go to this park. These deer are not scared of fucking shit, yo. All right, so here's my main thing. I rolled through the park. I passed groups of deer at first. I was like, damn, it's deery as fuck out here. I took some pictures. Yeah, and I'm going to put one of the videos right here below
Nice.
of me driving past
buddy.
these deer, okay? So, yeah. First,
What's up,
what happened
everyone?
is this. I'm driving down
Gotta
this
kill.
sand path. And my
gotta
car,
kill.
which it isn't really a powerhouse car,
An
you know?
all-terrain type vehicle.
Yeah.
No.
I got stuck in the sand.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had to.
I'm really sorry. I have to blow my nose.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Go. You should have just went, you know? So watch. Fucking. I'm driving. I get stuck in the sand, dude. I am in this area where it's like. It's as if it's just snow, but really it's Mother Nature's dryness, you know? Instead of that cold, moist powder, right? So I'm hitting the gas, trying to get out. It's digging me deeper. You know, it's like quicksand, but again, the shit's dry. Okay, I'm not sinking that much, but I'm sinking like about an inch to make my drive harder. So what I do is I reverse a little bit, I go forward. I'm rocking the car back and forth, reverse drive, reverse drive, reverse drive. Finally, I get that bitch out. Okay. And then I drive. When I drive out on the curve to where you park, dude, let me tell you something. The deer, they came right up to my car. And when I say right up, I don't mean that they were passing near the car. They came up to you, boy, okay?
Like his nose was straight up in the window. Like, what's up, guy?
Yep, I'll put the pictures all over here.
It was so cute, and I was so jealous.
Yep, and I'll tell you this. I want to give a shout out to God, okay? Because fucking something bad almost happened, you know?
When you got stuck.
No.
Oh.
I'm about to tell him.
Oh.
That's not bad enough, okay? When I shout to God, that means that something real bad almost happened.
Okay.
Because watch this. There were deer in front of the car. And my car is not moving anymore because this one guy was in front of me and he went through real slow. And there's a car behind me. So I'm in no rush because the guy behind me sees the deer situation. They're in the road and I'm going 10 miles an hour, then 5, then a full stop because there's a deer blocking the road. So there are a couple of deer on each side, and one comes to me and puts his actual snout in the car. Okay? He puts his snout in the car. Like that move that the baby does in that song Bop.
Yeah.
He puts his snout in the car. You know?
It reminds me of like the safari pictures where like the giraffe's head is just like in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was like.
And you know, these deer, what's happened is that they've been socialized because people come through here and for sure feed them. And I'll tell you this, that deer who put his nose on the car, I'm not sure if you could see it in the picture, but this dude had a little wet carrot on his back.
Aww.
There's a little piece of wet carrot.
Him.
Yeah.
He was like, so you too?
Yeah.
Ooh, next time let's bring carrots.
It'll be fun. So watch this. The one deer who was blocking me, that I thought, clears off. So now it's clear for me to go, and I don't want to keep the guy behind me waiting. So right as I'm about to go, I see another deer come out from in front of my car. The deer was so short, I didn't see him come to the car. He came to the car.
Was it a baby?
I don't know about deer structure, okay? He was about, all right, say if you're standing, he would go to about your vagina height, okay? He stood, or she, probably, okay? He had these little sticks up here, you know?
Okay.
Again, I don't know deer structure, but he had little sticks. And it was so funny because they weren't like big antlers, because some of them had those fucking antlers,
There
okay?
was those little nubs.
Some had those antlers. This guy, it was as if, you know, when a little girl goes into her mother's makeup and they put on like what they think is makeup.
Yes.
It was like this little deer put on what he thought was antlers. Like he found two little sticks and I glued them to his head. Okay.
That's cute.
So this deer was so small and so quietly moving. It was in front of my car, leaning against my car sideways the whole time. And he came out, I saw his face, and I was like, damn. What if he hadn't have moved? To see him, I would have had to have gotten out of the car and looked, because he was perfectly in front of the car. So just shout out to Jesus Christ
Saving that one's
that
life.
I didn't hit this guy, you know?
Definitely.
And it wouldn't have even been a hit, because I would have still went slow. It would have more been, I knocked it over, and I would have had to go like,
Console him.
yeah. But still, that was a little traumatizing for me. But
Bless.
I'm choosing, bless up. I'm choosing more to focus on the fact that I had these beautiful interactions with these woodland creatures.
I can't wait
you
to
know?
go back, because when you sent me those pictures, I thought it was like a one-time like experience, and I had to get where you were right away.
Yeah.
But then you told me where I was and everything, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They like live there.
It's accessible, you know?
So we should go have like a picnic there.
Absolutely.
With only deer edible food.
And on the Pokemon tip, I went there. What?
I have a headache.
Take some Advil. Maybe I'll get through the story if you can take some Advil, you know?
So far away.
So on the Pokemon tip, though, there were Stantler there, and I caught my motherfucking shiny Stantler. Because normally, it would take between... I mean, it could be any encounter, but I've encountered Pokemon hundreds of times and not gotten the shiny form. This time, Stantler's odds are increased because they only put the motherfucking raids and the odd nest. So I caught my shiny Stantler. He's a beautiful green boy. And I took an AR picture of him right next to one of those deer who were feeding, you know?
Yeah, he's like lime green.
Oh, man. And it was just fun, you know? It got me to a place where... And plus, I had to pee, so I urinated in a wildlife visitor center.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
What do you think?
I don't know. You didn't specify.
Yeah, I urinated where you're supposed to.
Okay.
But it was a place where people before me had gone there. Their pee was the pee of people who went to see deer. My pee was I went to play Pokemon Go and was surprised that the deer were there.
And it's a campground, right?
Yeah.
People have tents there?
Yeah.
Did you see them?
No, but I saw a bunch of people who had cars brandished with Toys for Tots decals.
Oh.
And they were all parked in a line. And there was one deer, and this is the deer actually who's going to be below in the picture with Stantler. This deer was he was chilling with them. This was a charitable deer, you know? This deer was down for the Toys for Tots.
Maybe he just wanted some toys.
Maybe.
He's a tot, kind of.
How you know? Oh, you saw the picture, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a baby.
So, Do you want to reflect? Oh, home. We have a comment here. Cassandra Porter says, "Wait, you're not still a rapper? Why am I following you then?"
Haha.
You know what? I do sometimes do nasty dinner raps, which is especially when Randall Begins, who is, he's a listener of the podcast. He is probably one of my favorite social media people to follow because he posts a lot that I disagree with. I'll say he posts a lot about Bernie Sanders, and it's probably the last gentleman that I would vote for right now. He posts a lot about Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut, and what the Snyder Cut is it's Justice League, right? The DC movie Justice League. Zack Snyder is a director, and he directed in my opinion, universally panned Man of Steel movie and Batman vs. Superman movie. And he was going on to direct Justice League. And he directed it about halfway, and then unfortunately he had a major loss in his family, so he left, and DC hired Joss Whedon to come in and essentially rewrite the script and finish the film in his way. And it's the one Whedon work that I've never seen, and that's because I didn't feel that it was his true vision. I felt more that that he was helping a friend out by doing this. Mm-hmm. And Zack Snyder, unfortunately, has been negative about that in the press afterwards. And I think that's kind of shitty that someone came in and cleaned up your mess and helped you, and now you're kind of shitting on that person's work. Mm-hmm. And Randall posts a lot about that. But on the other hand, Randall is someone who I think, I don't know, I kind of like how he sees, he gets our humor in our posts, and he follows the podcast. And I think that he's a genuine good guy. Mm-hmm. And even though we disagree on social media a lot, I always enjoy seeing his posts. Mm-hmm. He's someone who I can disagree with in good faith, which I think is rare. In modern discourse,
Yeah.
Why was I talking about Randall? Oh, the dinner wraps.
The food.
Randall always posts these pictures of, I'm just gonna say, fucking abominable dinners.
And videos, right, too?
Sometimes videos, yeah. He made a video of how he makes, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, okay, how he makes these spaghetti dinners.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just ghastly,
With your mom, we talked about it, too.
It's, as my mom would say, it's horrible, it's horrendous.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's just I've actually gotten a few comments about how, because I would do, in the past, and I'll still do them now, if I had any inspiration for them, to do fast food reviews, where I'll order a fast food item, I'll take a picture, and I'll write a review, and it's my honest opinion, and people thought that they're funny before, and that's nice. But Randall will just post his meal with no commentary. And sometimes these meals are just slop. And I'll record a rap. Sort of like, I feel that the meal has thrown down the gauntlet to me. That it's insulted my eyes. So it's my turn to respond and hit him with some bars,
Gotcha. Yeah, those are pretty funny, I remember.
So what about you?
What about me?
You want to talk about it's the last episode of the year, and I do want to say I'm wearing my Onward shirt, and this shirt it's a new garment for me.
It's a great New Year's Eve shirt.
Yeah, because I'm looking onward. I do have some ideas of how it is cliche to see the new year as a new start, but in most I don't really care.
I love it.
I like having new starts, and we're all about time. We give time to everything. We say, I'm 32 years old. We made that up. Mm-hmm. We made that up.
Yeah. And
age ain't nothing but a number, says R. Kelly. Why would we listen to R. Kelly? Numbers are important. You shouldn't be listening to R. Kelly. I think he's proven time and time again that he
it's not a good source.
No, he's untrustworthy in many ways. He's not even cleanly.
Yeah. So I was gonna say reflect on 2019, but I also have such a bad memory. So what I would like to do is for you to list off a few major events.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Major events
Yeah.
that happened to us.
Okay.
Like, you know. And then I will reflect on, like, oh, yeah, that happened and how I felt.
Oh, so it's all on me, huh?
No, just like, just like the timeline.
All right. So this year we watched Glow Up on Netflix.
That's so recent. You're going to go backwards?
No, I'm just saying random stuff.
All right. Yeah. Glow Up is a British competition show on Netflix. I believe it's a Netflix original, but I could be wrong. And similar to like baking shows and every other kind of competition show, aspiring makeup artists, most of them with really heavy British accents,
Yeah.
go in front of judges and perform makeup tasks and like themed makeup stuff and get eliminated one by one until there's a winner.
Yeah.
And I'm like so enthralled watching it because I love like those competition shows and I also love makeup. But Patrick, he doesn't like hate makeup, but he's not into it by any means. But when he sat down and started watching a couple episodes, it's so funny and like dramatic that he'll watch it with me and we'll laugh about it together.
Yeah, you know,
and it's funny.
I enjoyed it because the truth is that probably my opinion of makeup is more negative than you made it seem.
I didn't want to speak for you.
Okay, I'll speak for me. Mm-hmm. If I could be Thanos, right, and I could snap away makeup or half the makeup, I'd probably snap it away.
I'm so pissed at you for that too.
I think that it's a negative thing for society. I think that I think that these companies have preyed on women for a long time. And I think that they've made some really silly pictures that I have to look at now, you know? And they also have created a kind of eyebrow that I don't like.
I know you don't like the eyebrows, but look. I know what you mean about the exploiting of the women and things like that. It's like, oh, make your skin look younger and blah, 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 and this and that. But as far as like the makeup...
All right, sorry, everyone. That was my fault.
Hi, Steve.
I shifted my foot and I unplugged the microphone. What an asshole. All right, so you were disagreeing with me about makeup.
Yes. Pat was saying that he doesn't like makeup at all.
I didn't say all that. I didn't say that. I said I have more of a negative opinion about it than you let off, and that I would Thanos snap away at least half of it. I think that's a middle of the road opinion.
You said half of it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewind that and play that back.
Thanos does half.
Okay. But like, ooh, I love makeup. I think with makeup you can not to say that everyone isn't like beautiful in their own way, but makeup is like
everyone?
Like in their own way.
Okay.
And you don't have to have like one standard of beauty, but I think that with makeup, first of all, it's like such a good, to me, it's such a beautiful form of like artistic expression because it's sort of like painting or the decoration of a sculpture, except it's on somebody that's alive, that is alive. So it's like the canvas is the model's face.
I agree with that.
And it's an expression of color, it's an expression of image and storytelling. It's kind of like, as opposed to drawing a picture of like a fairy goddess or something, you can turn someone's actual live face into that with makeup. And I think that that's so cool.
I agree with all that.
All right.
I just think that, I do think that largely a lot of these companies prey on women. I do.
Well, that's a whole argument in itself.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like the art of makeup and people that, I think people that study to do makeup and practice it as like art and do it as a profession. I think it's also something to be really proud of because you need to have a steady hand.
I agree.
You have to be an artist.
I think you're right.
And you're using paintbrushes, you're using pigments, you're mixing things, you're creating a story. And I think that it's totally cool. I would love to do that. And sometimes I've thought about it and been like, ooh, I don't even know if like I can, you know, my artistic skill, good enough. But that comes to like professional. As far as like daily makeup and stuff, I know what you mean. And I do see your argument because I sometimes do, like in the morning before I leave the house, I'm someone who always has to have like basically a full face of makeup on before I leave to do something and feel 100% comfortable. And sometimes I feel like a slave to that. Like I don't want to do my makeup, I just want to shower and have a fresh face and leave the house, but I know that, or I feel that, but I feel like I know that it's just not going to be okay. Like I'm not going to be as comfortable in my skin if I don't have a certain amount of makeup on, which like I can see why that's sad and it's like a problem, but to me it's sort of like, that's the way it is. And I try to see the good side of it and the fun side of makeup by like playing around with it and doing different things with it instead of having to do the same exact thing every day, like, Yeah,
and I'll say this. There's a negative and positive thing to me about what you just said. That my hope is that when you go out with a full face of makeup, I know that you feel better. And I hope that you see it as a shield rather than as an anchor that you have to put on every day. Mm-hmm. Like, part of me thinks like, if it wasn't a thing, because here's the truth. I and most men don't think about putting on makeup at all. And I sort of feel like reverse jealous that I wish that you didn't have to think about that. Mm-hmm. I wish that you didn't have to spend all that time.
Because you wait for me too while I do my makeup.
Well, yeah,
and
but
stuff like that.
I don't mind waiting for you. It's more that like I wonder like how you would feel about just going out if you would be happier just to leave if makeup didn't exist. But it does,
If it didn't exist and no one else wore it around me,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Then that would be lit. Like if I knew that no one else was wearing it, then I wouldn't feel like I don't want to be the only person wearing it.
Right. That's where my negative opinion comes from, because I feel like so many women feel forced into doing this thing that they wouldn't otherwise do if it weren't the norm, Mm-hmm. And it's because it's not the norm for me. I can say that from a place of like, I'm not involved, so I can have a negative opinion about it because I see that I do think that you would rather go out without it.
Yeah, like just the way it feels.
Right.
But honestly, like looking in the mirror, I prefer my face with makeup on it.
Sweatpants, hair tie, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take Drake wrong.
But anyways, that's enough makeup talk for today.
I'm amazed that Drake didn't get canceled for that line,
It's too early for that.
They're coming for you, Drake,
They kind of are, though, for no reason. But anyways.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. We watched that show. But I will say, what I like about makeup, I'll just keep this shit going, is I enjoyed watching them do the more left field faces in the show. In the show, you have this little, he's not little. He sort of looks like, and this is please take no offense, Amy, okay? Because this is your favorite guy. And he became my second favorite guy. He is sort of like if the Pillsbury Doughboy really loved My Chemical Romance, okay? He's a big, tall guy with colorful hair, and he's
colorful everything, like his clothes, his hair, his eyebrows. He's just fabulous.
He did two makeups that I liked a lot. He did one where it was, I forget if it was a woman or a man, so I'll just say he did a person he painted them fully white, and not in any racial sense, he just painted them fully white.
Like mime white.
Yeah, and he put red on the mouth in a rectangle. And red eye. And red eye shadow, yeah. And that was striking. It was cool. It kind of reminded me of the old Jennifer Lopez movie, The Cell. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever saw that, but it was this like kind of like horrific, dreamlike movie, right? And there was another one he did that kind of looked like Pablo Picasso did a painting of Boy George, right? Where he did his own makeup and he did this colorful shit on his face, and
Like a swirl, but like very geometrical.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of opened my mind to makeup because I'd say before the show, my opinion was like 90% negative, and now it's like 65% negative.
But also, that is more, both of the ones that you really liked, you know, they were more along the lines of face painting.
I agree.
It's not really something you'd ever wear anywhere but like a runway or even a Halloween
Yeah.
something. So there's like a line, you know, it's blurred.
Who knows though? You know, like I don't know shit. Just take
Neither do I. Really.
Take my opinion with a grain of fucking sea salt, kosher sea salt, dude. You know. So we're reflecting on 2019 though.
Yes. Next.
What else did we do this year? We started watching Modern Family.
Yep, we recently started watching Modern Family
Yeah.
for Christmas. Pat got me the DVDs because it's not streaming anymore. But yeah, we're on episode like probably 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
And they're half-an-hour episodes. Hilarious. I was laughing out loud from the jump. I was kind of nervous to start again from the beginning because I didn't know like how it really started. But the pilot episode was just like, oh, that's everyone right there. Yep.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
And I enjoy it so far. It has Al Bundy, and part of me thinks that the reason that we started talking about Modern Family to begin with was because Amy likes to sit on the couch and she puts her hand into her fupa. You know,
I'll sleep like this.
Yeah, she'll put
my hand in my pants
she'll do that Al Bundy action,
with my thumb out.
and I'll say something. She'll like, "Oh, I'm married to Al Bundy," and she'll be like, "Oh, he's a Modern Family."
Yeah.
Right, and that's how we started talking about that. But I'll be honest. Those are things that happened not only this year, but this week.
Yeah, so what are you doing?
I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying. My memory is bad. I can't even think back. We went to San Diego early in the year.
Oh.
Right?
Did we? Yeah, we did.
Like, what, February? No.
August? I don't know. Maybe last year. I don't even think we went this year. I'll have to look at our timeline, but I'm less concerned about, like, because I went to some conventions. I'm more concerned about the overall feeling of this year. And, I mean, last year, 2020, pissing me off. She is taking her finger and she's tracing it along mine. Ooh, and
I'm stroking him with
It's not
love.
a good feeling. 2018, right? 2018 was, how can I say it? If you know when like a TV show has a bad season or episode, and like you say that it jumps the shark, I felt that my life had jumped the shark in 2018. You know, I think it was overall a bad year. My dad died that year. That's the year that
This is the year before last. The year before this year.
Yes,
ending.
2018. This year actually, our cat Wesley passed away. But I also kind of lumped that with last year too, because that's when he first started to get sick. And it was just, it was a chaotic year, and it was duro pepa. You were in the hospital, you know, you almost died and stuff. And
Not really, but I was there for like 5 days.
yeah, it was just my shit jumped the shark, dude, you know? And then this year is like, this year was a fucking return to form, bitch.
Nice.
It was good.
I'm glad.
It was good. And it made me feel, and plus, like, I don't know, it just, this year gave me a sense of freedom, fun, normalcy. And I want to shout out, too, to listening to more podcasts this year has helped me a lot. Probably the most formative podcast that I listened to this year probably was Crystalia's podcast, because and I'll probably do a whole podcast about this. You know, I was thinking about doing this topic for a solo episode, right? I feel in my chosen career, in the comics community, I feel sort of like an island. I feel that I don't really feel part of that community. I don't really connect to other comics creators in many ways, and I don't know if it's even like a good idea to talk about this, but I do feel very, very separate from them, from their likes, from their dislikes, from their interests, from what they talk about, from what enrages them, from what they don't care about. I feel like there's not many people, if anyone, in the comics community that I relate to or feel social kinship with or feel any sense of shared values, thoughts, hopes, even the way that we look at the industry and what is good versus what isn't good as far as art, as far as writing. I just, I don't know. I feel very alone in the community of my career. And that wasn't true before, but is true when I see what everyone's posting on social media. On social media, it sort of feels honestly like I am in a room full of cruel people. People who revel in cruelty and who are cruel to each other, themselves, especially themselves. There's this toxic self-deprecation that I don't feel part of, and cruel to other people too, cruel to strangers a lot. And I began to feel that sort of torn between, does social media show the dark side of us, show how bad we can be, or does it bring out badness in us that wasn't there before, you know?
Because we're like hiding behind the screen, sort of.
Yeah, that. And plus, I feel like, you know, when there was this pretty interesting post that I saw probably like 2 years ago where it compared someone who shares and posts more liberal thoughts with someone who shares and posts more conservative thoughts.
Oh, their feeds?
Yeah, it showed how different the feeds were.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's true too of cruelty online. If the more you engage with anger and outrage online, does that in turn focus your feed more into anger and outrage? Does that become all you see?
Like the algorithms, like hashtag beef.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you become just like a beef beast, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just noticed that I felt like I was like that one little just trying to be happy chicken in this room full of beef beasts. You know, these cows are stomping and I'm just trying to cluck, you know? And what I saw in Crystal Lee's podcast, and this is called the Congratulations Podcast. It's kind of like a silly thing to say, and that's kind of the point. But his philosophy of that when he goes online and when he engages with people who he doesn't know, he wants to have a silly goose time, and that's it. That he's just going to go online, joke around, and be done with it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if instead of trying to relate to people who really just seem to want to be angry with each other and to just like shit on themselves, maybe I could just post what I think is funny. Mm-hmm. And that's it. You know, just here's my work, and also here is a dumb thought I had. Mm-hmm. Like kind of go back to what I was posting before I was using, because it's hard not to see your social media as a reflection of your success in your career when your social media is where you promote your career. And I wanted to kind of go back to just being a person on there and just like trying to have fun while I have to be here. Because I feel like to have a career in comics, I do have to be on social media. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why can't I do both? Why can't I be there and promote my work in the ways that I can take, and then at the same time just have fun there too and just post some bullshit, you know? And I've been doing that, you know, and that's made it a lot easier to exist online. Because I was having trouble, like, 'cause I had this thing where last year, dude, I would write what I was going to say in advance. I would just sort of really more curate what I was going to be talking about. And I didn't want that, you know?
On the podcast?
No, on social media.
Oh, wow. You'd plan it out like
that. Yeah, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just like another job.
It was very much that, and it felt like I was sort of putting myself behind digital bars. There's this scene in American Beauty, right, where homie who was canceled, Kevin Spacey, right? His character Lester. I know the fucking character's name better than his name.
Actor.
Yeah. He has this scene where he is at work, and you see. I forget if you see him through the screen or if it's like his reflection. The digital text on the screen sort of forms jail bars around his face, and that's how I felt when I was looking at these tweets. That I was stuck here in this circus that I didn't want to be.
Not being yourself, really.
Yeah. I felt like I couldn't, and now I'm like, well, I will be myself, and if anyone doesn't want to engage with me just fucking around and having fun, then they could be out. And I'm not gonna count who unfollows me and stuff. I'm just gonna talk about shit that I think is funny. Like, this is such a crazy, stupid example, but that's why I like it. I tweeted about when we were. I was in the bathroom, okay, and I'll be 100% honest. I was defecating, or I had defecated, right? And I do this thing where I'll poop, I'll do my natural duties, right? And then after I'm done with that activity, I'll stay on the toilet for a long time. I'll be on my phone,
Computer.
I'll be on the phone with that fucking brown-eyed girl down there,
Oh my God.
just hanging out, just waiting for nothing,
Until I'm like, I have to pee.
Yeah, until you intervene, right?
Yeah.
So Amy meanwhile, she had a piece of tissue she needed to throw out. So I thought it was gentlemanly that I moved my ball bag aside, right?
Oh my God.
And you put the tissue in the toilet. And I tweeted that some shit like, if your husband doesn't move his ball bag out the way when you want to throw something in the toilet, then you shouldn't be married to him.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah. And actually that day, I got an email from an editor who's a friend of mine who said two things. He said, and this to me, it was so innocuous. He probably didn't even think about it that he was writing these two things in the same email. But my thought was like, what if someone sees me joking about like my balls, right, on Twitter, and then doesn't give me a gig, right? Well, this gentleman emails me, and in the body of the email, he says, "Hey Pat, well, thanks to your Twitter, now I know more about your personal life than I ever wanted to know. And also, here's this new job." He gave me a job on, I can't talk about what it is yet, but it's a very high profile, well-known children's title.
Yeah.
And it's by, and this is kind of showing my hand, but it is published by and has characters from the largest corporation that is very well known for their for the purity of their creators, right? So the fact that he said both of those things in that same email, it made me feel less alone. That really people want to be themselves. They want to just say dumb shit. They want to joke around. And that it's okay if you do. Maybe I was just seeing the negative stuff because that was what was scaring me. And I would just see more and more and more of it. And every corner I look, I would just see what I don't want to see.
Yeah.
And now I'm posting more of what I want to post. And
Getting jobs.
yeah, and I just feel good about that. That's one of my major changes in 2019.
Very good.
You know?
And you're going to carry it on into 2020.
So how about you? You have any thoughts about next year? Thoughts about this year? Anything?
I definitely think that it's going to be, I don't think that it's cliche that it's a fresh start, because in my head, in my mind, it's true. It's a new year. It was just like a week ago was the eclipse and the winter solstice.
And what does that mean for you?
It was the longest night of the year.
Oh, word?
Yep, the birth of the sun, the first cycle of the very beginning of the first day of the cycle of the seasons of the year.
Damn, close to Christmas too.
Yeah.
Do you think that they put Christmas
The
there?
birth of the sun.
Like they decided that Christmas should be close to the birth of the sun? It's like a pun.
Who's they?
The people who make Christmas. Like birth of Jesus, the sun.
I'm not
you know
sure. Yeah. It's close, and it's basically it's when the Earth starts to officially low key starts to warm up because the sun is now starting again. It was birthed at the winter solstice.
Yeah.
And now we're going towards spring and summertime.
That's some science right there.
And then the summer, it's the longest day of the year.
Right.
But the winter one's the longest night, shortest day.
Interesting.
From what I know, I'm really bad with like trying to explain stuff like that out loud.
But what does it mean to you though?
So sorry, that was the first question. So I'm actually feeling very fresh and looking forward to the beginning of the new year especially because you got me a new like almanac workbook calendar. So I want to stay organized this year. I always make, New Year's resolutions and goals and stuff, and they're always kind of the same, and I haven't really gotten to a place where I'm like happy with, because like for the last like 5 years it's been like, oh, I want to have like a daily meditation, I want to have like some sort of routine and this and that, but I'm gonna try again this year,
Yeah.
And I feel positive about it. I feel energetic about it. I want to get a new job that I really like this year, besides the babysitting, because I really like seeing them. If that goes well, that would be nice. But also, I'm looking forward to in the beginning of next year, we're going to be visiting my family.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And that's a great way to start the new year, too.
Yeah.
To escape the cold a little bit in February and go to San Diego. And yeah, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I don't have any negative feelings about it. I feel like whatever is going to happen next year is going to be positive. And I do have, like, I feel like, hopefully, and I feel like your career is, like, just on the verge of kind of, like, you're going to be doing, and you're doing, like, bigger things. As far as, like, the projects and things that we can't talk about quite yet and stuff like that. So those are blossoming. So, like, they were seeds, like, last year and this year. And now they're coming into, like, buds.
I hope so. It's I do feel at a crossroads. I feel like there's one direction where I could do more freelancing work in comics, and the other direction where I could explore my own creations in new media.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what I keep thinking about is actually, speaking of podcasts and my Onward shirt, Theo Vaughn was talking about this, and he's a comedian who has a great podcast also called This Past Weekend. And this shirt is merch from that podcast. I thought it was appropriate for the new year,
Mm-hmm.
Theo Vaughn was talking about how in your career you could, and he's a comedian, you could go the route where you define yourselves by the opportunities that other people are giving you, and the other route where you create your own opportunities and you do your own thing and make your own success happen. And I feel that I've been very much in the area where I am celebrating each opportunity that I'm given, that I'm asking people for stuff, right? That I am showing people my work, and it is in a way, it is earning it. It is, you can still be self-made when other people hire you for stuff. That's true. And I do feel proud of what I've done and the jobs that I've gotten from other people. But I want to rely less on the successes that other people are going to help me achieve, and more on what I can do with my own ideas and my own work that way,
Mm-hmm. And it's great that because you can publish and do things that are not just books under the company too, if you want to.
Yeah.
So we do have that platform, at least if you wanted to try anything like Pokemon videos or I wanted to start vlogging again,
You should.
with you, so. But anyway, there's so many things that I would like to explore
My foot's
and
so
do.
fucking asleep right now.
Oh, the one you're sitting down?
Yeah. I actually we'll talk about
My
that.
hair's
at a
whack, yo.
different
I
time.
also want to get a haircut for the new year, finally. I've been talking about it for like a month and a half.
I've been talking about getting my haircut for the podcast soon. Oh, we have so many comments here. Derek Markovic has left a bunch of comments.
Hey.
He says, "Yo, Pat and Amy, what's up? What's up, man? 2020, new beginnings." Amy's talking about some gypsy shit.
Yeah.
LOL, JK. He says,
It's not a joke.
Sam Harris has a meditation app that's supposed to be great, Amy.
Ooh.
Holy fuck, I'm the only one here. Yeah, man, we actually...
You're late. Just kidding.
I say we. I messed the mic up, okay? I ruined the video. This is our second part.
He pooped on the party.
I did. But yeah, listen. I say we'll wrap up now. I was going to talk about a medical thing I'm getting done in 2020. But I think that we should probably talk about that at a different time. And it's fine. It's a quick thing, but, you know.
It's fine as a quick thing. No, it's not a quick thing because for you it's a big thing. Because it also has to do with, like, your anxieties.
Fears. That's
and
why
stuff. It's, like, bigger. It's not. I feel, like, sad when you downplay how scared you are about it. Because everybody's different and they have certain fears. And this just happens to be, like, one of your greatest fears ever since you were little.
Yeah.
It's
Listen.
not just, like, a little... It is just a safe, very common procedure.
That's what I mean.
Is what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not downplaying it.
Okay, but
that's
I'm
what I
saying
mean.
that you're in the right for how you feel.
Oh,
If you,
I know.
okay, good.
I know,
I just
no.
wanted to make sure you knew that.
No, I'm just saying that I don't want to end the podcast in a way where people are like, oh, does he have
It's
cancer?
not like he's getting, like, a brain tumor
Yeah.
removed or anything like that.
No, what we're talking about is more along the lines of, like, I have a phobia about something I have to do. Mm-hmm. But no, I appreciate the empathy, but that's not what I was saying at all.
Okay, good.
No. I would rather, literally, lose one of my fingers than get this operation done.
Oh, I know.
It definitely depends on what finger, right? Like, I got to keep the thumb so I can throw with one hand Pokeballs, okay? Mm-hmm. I got to keep this finger to throw with one hand Pokeballs. Mm-hmm. And I write with, I use pretty much my pinkies and my index. So got to keep, I'll put up the fingers I got to keep. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, this one.
Nope. Per se.
Yeah. Do you need these two?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So I would lose. Oh, wedding ring. I would lose my middle finger on my left hand. I would lose my thumb. My thumb! You fucks. Or my ring finger on my right hand before this shit.
That's only 3 out of 10.
You added one, though, you know? I'm fine without that shit, you know? I'll just, like... I could have just, like, bent it a bit more, you know?
Word. I don't really know what's going on down there, actually.
Anyway, listen. That's all we got to talk about, I think. I think that's it.
Yeah, plus we're going to go to Michael's Arts and Crafts right now. And I'm hungry because I've only eaten one thing today.
Okay. Let's end the year on a more sentimental note than you talking about our fucking day, okay? Yeah, I do want to thank those who watch this. I know that this year our YouTube audience has grown. We started that growth, though, with reaction videos. The podcast isn't the source of that growth. I know that some of you who have enjoyed the reaction videos have stayed on for the podcast, and we thank you so much for that. Yeah. But I do want to say we're going to get back to those reaction videos this coming year.
Those are so much fun.
Yeah.
That should be one of our goals.
Definitely. They're just so hard to edit in comparison to the podcast because they take hours. I have a specific style that I like for those. But we are going to get back into those. We've just, I had a lot of work on the company, so we did fall off a bit on that. But for those who watch those, for those who watch this, thank you very much. I hope that your year was great. And I hope that if it wasn't great, that you allow yourself a new chance next year. Because everyone, probably with the exception of R. Kelly, who I spoke about today, deserves a new chance, okay?
A few people, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you deserve giving yourself a fresh slate. If you think that resolutions are cliche, don't even think about resolutions. Think about that this year starts with January 1st. That's 1 one. That's 2 number ones, okay? You can start with number 1. Do something that you want to do, fresh and brand new, on 1/1, okay? We're starting a new decade, you motherfucker. A new decade?
Yeah.
A new decade. That's
Wild.
crazy. That means
2020. That's double 20.
if you didn't like the 10s, or even if you did, and you want something that you like even more, wipe the old shit away. It's okay. It's okay. You can use this new start as a new start. Don't be scared. You can do whatever you want to do. At different points, I feel like when I look back on my life, that I have lived different lives. I look at who I was at the beginning of this decade. I wasn't nearly as happy as I am now, you know? I wasn't. I was, in some ways, I feel like I wasn't the same person as I am now. And I feel much happier and more at home in my soul. And that's real than I did then. Mm-hmm. And I just look back at my life and I'll think of a memory and I'll go, damn, that was me, huh? And it's as different as if I were reading a book about someone else. But it is in turn your boy. It's the same guy who occupied this body. So just know you can give yourself that same change. You can be a different person inside and out if you want to. And don't let anybody tell you. There's all this conversation too about like how it's like problematic to like diet or to even want to lose weight. Hey, listen up. If you want to lose weight, that's fine. You can do what you want to do. Don't even listen to what anyone says. You can do what you want to do and make yourself into the person that you want to be. And that's on God, yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to wear a bunch of makeup, you can do that too.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
It's just going to cost a bit of money.
I never fucking said otherwise.
I know.
Okay?
I'm just tagging along with what you were saying.
You can go into the Mac store, right? And you can get bullied by everyone who works there, with no exception, okay? And you can buy makeup, and you can do what Amy said.
I want to work at the Mac. I would be the nicest person there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be... I think you have to take a class or some shit. I don't even know.
Everyone else who works there is so mean. Everyone who works there could be the subject of that documentary, Don't Fuck With Cats. Mm-hmm. What was that guy's name?
Luca Magnotta.
Luca Magnotta. Everyone who works the Mac, to me, is a little Luca Magnotta.
How
okay?
dare. No, but I gotta say, though, I do like Mac, but I recently had to switch over to completely Sephora because I found a makeup there that is similar price that I can get that along with a bunch of other shit at Sephora. It's not just specific. So I haven't been to Mac in a long time.
Now, yeah, Mac and Sephora are so different. And I, even as someone who doesn't know makeup, I know this. Because
Sephora has so much more stuff.
Yeah, it's a very different experience for a husband, right? Mm-hmm. When a husband and a wife go into the Mac store, what they'll experience is a little bit of rudeness and leaving very quickly. At Sephora, let me tell you something. Wives have been lost at Sephora. I know this one guy, he took his wife to Sephora, and he fucking never saw her again. She's still there. Okay?
She's still there behind the fucking face scrub.
She's still there. And he goes back to the mall every day looking for her. But there's too many aisles. He's never seen her since. It's been 7 years.
Yeah, that's Stash.
It's been 7 years.
Shut up.
So listen, 2020, new start. Thank you for everyone who watched.
Thank you, Zach.
Listened. Zach O'Connor comments in our live stream. 2020 will be amazing for you and Amy and Space Between. Happy New Year. Good night. And we can end on that.
Beautiful.
Good night.
We should have him on the podcast. Oh, we said that. Good night.
I said we could fucking end there. Good night.
Space between, space between, space between, space between.
Space between.